Ultra Instinct Goku Kaioken, is that going to be a thing, specifically even in the Tournament of Power? We know that Goku hasn't mastered Ultra Instinct just yet, but he certainly knows the route to mastering it, otherwise he wouldn't build himself up in the way that he did in the last few episodes. But when the time comes to fight an enemy like Jiren, who already fought Goku in Ultra Instinct and was still somewhat dominant in that fight, is Ultra Instinct going to be enough to win Goku the fight? Possibly even with the help of others. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, if Toei hands Goku the win because he was able to stack Kaioken, a technique, on top of another technique, Ultra Instinct, I think that would be lazy writing, but I can see them doing it. Let's not kid ourselves here. In fact, what might make these two techniques compatible is the fact that they're two completely different systems. One deals with ki, and the other one deals with these heightened senses, and it might be expressed through ki, but we don't know that yet. We know very little about the Ultra Instinct technique / state of mind, and you could go as far as to say it's a transformation in Goku's case, Ultra Instinct Omen, or Kizashi. The compatibility factor only becomes an issue when a transformation has a problem with ki control, because for the Kaioken, this multiplier, you need very good ki control. And that's why it works so well with Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Blue required perfect innate ki control and a calm mind, so utilizing the Kaioken technique with that was possible, despite the original drawbacks of the Kaioken, which still applies, and that's the fact that the ki on the inside, because you're multiplying it, it could just obliterate you, it could rip you to shreds, it could kill you, right? Which is why Goku had all those muscle spasms when he pulled it out against Hit. And let's really be honest here, Goku was struggling with Super Saiyan Blue alone against Hit. Had he not stacked Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan Blue back during the Universe 6 arc, he would not have been able to tie against Hit. So they might do the same thing right here. Goku's going to struggle with Ultra Instinct, he stacks Kaioken on top of that, and he's able to just edge Jiren over and win the fight. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, Double Four, that's really lazy writing. Yeah, but don't blame me. If they end up doing that, if they end up pulling that, you gotta blame Toei, and that isn't the way I would personally like to see Goku defeat Jiren. Again, the way I would like to see Goku defeat Jiren is simply with Ultra Instinct and the help of his teammates, the remaining teammates. Their skills are applied where they're needed, and that way Goku can defeat Jiren with the help of others without Goku surpassing Jiren, because, listen, surpassing Jiren is such a great feat that if Goku defeats Jiren with his own power, you could make the argument that Goku has surpassed pretty much all the Gods of Destructions, and I don't want Goku to surpass all the Gods of Destructions in the Tournament of Power. I think that would be insane. There's a general rule in the series where you could stack powers on top of each other as long as they don't really do the same thing, right? So you've got the God Key system, you've got the pure power boost with the Super Saiyan transformations, and then of course you've got the augmented physical reactions. So these are three different things, and of course you could stack Kaioken on top of these things because they have different usages. Although this does get a little bit complicated, if you could stack Kaioken on top of Ultra Instinct, does that mean that Goku could also use God Ki with Ultra Instinct? I think there's going to be something that Toei does that makes it impossible for Ultra Instinct and the God transformations to be used together. Otherwise, it would be like very weird, because Ultra Instinct seemingly surpasses the God transformations in terms of just sheer power. So then when you have the God transformations used with Ultra Instinct, it doesn't really make much sense, whereas the Kaioken is simply a power multiplier, and that should be compatible with both Ultra Instinct and the God transformations. Now, how powerful would Goku be exactly if he stacked Kaioken on top of Ultra Instinct? So it's important for starters to talk about how powerful Goku is with Ultra Instinct alone. Now, Kaioken, by the way, people don't know this, but Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan Blue was something that Goku thought of so that he could eventually use this against Beerus. So Goku in his head is like, Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan Blue, it's going to give me some might in the fight against Beerus. This will be what does it. That's what Goku thought when he was developing Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Now, Ultra Instinct alone, and I've made a video about this, but I believe it's somewhere between maybe like 70% to 100% of Beerus' total power. So Goku and Ultra Instinct, if he were to fight Beerus would have to pull out probably 3/4 of all of his power in order to rival him. And it makes sense if you think about it, because dude was pretty much on par with Jiren, and Jiren is stronger than the God of Destruction in his universe, and We saw the Gods of Destruction's fight. We know Vermouth/Belmont is somewhere close to Beerus' level. So we know Jiren is somewhere close to Beerus' level. So Ultra Instinct Goku, and keep in mind, he has not mastered Ultra Instinct. We're going to see him pull it out a couple more times. Does not mean he's mastered it fully yet. If we're talking about what he's used, I don't want to say he's 100% of Beerus' power. Probably not. Somewhere between 70% and 100%. Now, if he actually multiplies it, if he adds the multiplier on top of that, times 10, times 20, oh yeah, if not surpass Beerus, at the very least, he's going to be giving him a fight. And I'm talking about a fight where you could flip a coin and, you know, heads or tails, right? Pick your choice. It's going to be very close. Now, with all that being said, what do you guys think? Now, normally Goku has to train to achieve something like, you know, Kaioken Ultra Instinct, but the fact that Goku's body naturally learns and he's like extra special in that sense, and that's why he, by the way, is able to use Ultra Instinct again, despite the fact that he really didn't have any time to really understand the transformation. His body just remembers it. They could go down that route of explaining why Goku's able to master this technique, or at the very least, you know, has the potential of pulling out Kaioken on top of Ultra Instinct in the middle of the fight without actually training for it. The compatibility factor is there, and we've seen it in the past. So I'm just going to go the extra mile and say that Toei, their history of doing things very lazy writing, they could indeed do this and explain why Goku wins the fight against Jiren with an extra boost on top of Ultra Instinct, because we've already seen Goku pull out Ultra Instinct against Jiren. What's going to really change? What's going to change? Well, Kaioken's the first thing that comes to mind. At the very least, though, there should be some grave consequences for Goku if he does indeed do that, because he didn't train for it. He didn't master this, right? If he pulls it out of nowhere, then anything should happen. And if Goku dies as a result of doing this, then by all means, they have to do it. And maybe that'll be the choice between reviving Goku and the universe. I know people will be like, well, technically, if you revive the universe, isn't everybody